Hello and welcome to the Silver King's War. I'm Michael Sievers, the writer, producer, and creator of this podcast series about my father's Second World War as a B-26 bombardier. Today we continue in the Epilogue for Dearest Ones, the letters that Stanley wrote to his family throughout the war. Our hero, the Silver King, has just arrived at his B-26 training base in Shreveport, Louisiana. It's the start of a hot and humid summer for our hero, the King. Stanley writes to his family on Friday, June 22nd, 1944. Dearest Ones, just a note to let you know I'm fine and arrived safely. It's too damn hot to write a long letter from here. Besides, I'll be home before I could write many letters. I'm getting a 15-day leave starting about Tuesday. It came as a total surprise, and I'm very happy about the whole thing. I should be home Wednesday or Thursday. I'll let you know exactly when later. This is a beautiful field, but this replacement depot isn't worth a damn. We're being treated like a bunch of Boy Scouts. This would be a wonderful place to be stationed at permanently. Keep well. We'll see you soon. Stan. Our hero, the King, was excited about the idea of a 15-day leave. He's anxious to get home and visit with his folks and, of course, get some of Ida Mae's home cooking. His 15 days fly by. And, of course, he's busy socializing, seeing his friends, trying to get a taste of the world again. And all of that activity away from home makes his mother, Sara Belle, very mad. Stanley's months of advanced training at Barksdale Field are significant for a number of reasons, and one of the most important, perhaps, is simply that he is finally starting to make a serious break from his mother's hard rule about his life. Sara Belle has been the Silverfield family's commanding officer for decades. The King adores his mother, and it's clear throughout his writing that the family is loving and they get along generally well. Now, however, our hero is 21. He's an up-and-coming young man with ideas of his own. The clash with his mother, of course, is inevitable, and it becomes clear in his writing through July and August of 1944. After our hero returns from his 15-day leave, he writes his family on Sunday, July 15th. It's his first letter in over 3 weeks, and he's working hard to get back into the rhythm of all of it. And he writes, Dearest Ones, it has been a long and busy week. The reason for my not writing. The day after my return, I was assigned to the field for training, and that meant running all over the place, seeing a dozen different people, and signing twice as many papers. Now, on his first day off, he's writing and acknowledging at the same time that all the lost sleep that disappeared in his 15-day leave has finally caught him. He writes, Needless to tell you how grand it was being home. I'm just sorry I made you angry because of my running around. Honestly, though, I've never enjoyed a leave as much as I did this one. It's the first time I've hated to leave so much. Stanley's writing estimates that he'll have 9 weeks of hard work before he's ready to ship out, and he's about to meet his crew and begin flying. With his official flying assignment, Stanley's weeks begin to move quickly. Many things will happen in a short time. Stanley meets his crew on Wednesday, July 18th. His pilot is Lieutenant Jack H. Feste. The co-pilot is James N. Fomby, Jr. The engineer gunner is Corporal Alfred R. Hopp. The radio operator gunner is Clarence A. Luck. And the armament gunner is Corporal Jack D. Lofton. Their official flight crew photograph at Barksdale was taken on August 17th, 1944. The day before Stanley meets his crew, his mother, Sara Belle, decides to call his commanding officer at Barksdale Field. Sara Belle hadn't heard from Stanley because he's been busy working hard and been too tired to write, and she's very upset about not hearing from him. Stanley writes to his family on Tuesday night, July 17th, 1944. Dearest Ones, I'm terribly sorry you worried so about me. It really wasn't necessary for you to call or wire. You should have known I would have written sooner if I had the time and energy. It is so unbearably hot here, it's impossible to sit still long enough to write. We can't go to bed until very late, as it takes the barracks that long to cool off. I'll try to write as often as I can, but don't expect too much. I'm really surprised you were able to reach me on the phone. As you know, I'm no longer in the replacement depot. They usually don't bother to look for you. When you called, we were sitting on the grass outside the barracks, trying to cool off. That's where I am now. I would be swimming, but I'm sore from sunburn. This letter that Stanley wrote to his family reflects how disappointed and angry he is in his mother. And it accelerates his split from her as he continues to grow up and become a man and a veteran in the Air Corps as he trains for his assignment. He doesn't want anything to interrupt what's going on. And the idea that his mother felt that she could call his commanding officer is way out of bounds. And it really created distance between them, which I think was a good and necessary thing. The Silver King began flying with his crew almost immediately after they met. He described how they flew a local formation and that he liked the new ship, the B-26, very much, saying that it is different from the 25, describing it as being bigger and heavier and providing much more room than he had before in the nose blister. Stanley is a little bit anxious, of course, as he knows that he will begin dropping bombs from the B-26 in his first mission, training mission, in his arc to become a Marauder man. After Sara Belle called Stanley's commanding officer at Barksdale, our hero understandably took a writing break from his steady and regular missives to his family. And of course, his lack of writing made his mother even more upset. At that point, I think the king knew exactly what he was doing, and he was satisfied that Sara Belle had to stew about everything she was trying to control in her life. He wrote a mid-August letter to his folks. Dearest Ones, I hardly know how to begin. It's been so long since I've written a letter. I suppose I should begin by apologizing, although I'm not so sure it will do any good. I am sincerely sorry you've become so upset over it. I assure you nothing is wrong. I'm fine and have been all along. Neither am I angry about anything. You certainly have taken the wrong attitude about it. I'm sorry it's left you with such an impression. I surely haven't intended to hurt you purposely. It's just that I haven't felt like writing. We have been working furiously the last 2 weeks as we are shipping out for our port of embarkation on the 26th of this month. Almost the minute I sit down, I fall asleep. Even we are flying on Sunday. I just haven't had the energy nor the will to write. Now that you know the reason and that I am well, I will close. Love, Stan. The King's Special Orders number 239 at his headquarters Army Air Base in the office of the commanding officer at Barksdale Field is an extraction notice dated 26 August 1944. Stanley and his B-26 crews will go by rail to Hunter Field in Georgia in time to report not later than 31 August 44. They will report to the Combat Cruise Center of the 3rd Air Force Staging Wing for assignment to Project 3AF-AG-60. The crews will depart that site on 29 August 1944. Stanley writes to his family just before his departure from Barksdale, and he explains that it's difficult to realize that it might be his last opportunity to really enjoy a night out in the United States. He describes having a date with his favorite nurse, and that they'll probably go to the Zephyr Room. But he's really ready to get out of the hole that he's been in. And he's guessing that he'll never be satisfied until he's a civilian again. He closes with, "It's goodbye for a while. I'll send you a cable when I reach my destination. Take care of yourselves and keep well. Love to Ida. I love you and miss you, Stan." As our hero feels the tension drawing tighter as he approaches his war, we have reached the end of this episode of the Epilogue for Dearest Ones, Stanley's letters to his family throughout his war, Part 18. And you are listening to the Silver King's War.